I wanted to share a public post by a conservative figure, Matt Walsh. We are at once the most depressed and anxious society ever in history, also the most medicated. People are going to therapy more than ever before. They're taking more of these drugs than ever before. So, it's nice to hear a public figure just throw this out there. It's something I've been saying for a long time. I myself, when I go through prolonged seasons of inactivity, I I know what it's like to be depressed and anxious, and I just wanted to get on here to maybe offer just a little bit of hope as I am currently in a season where I'm not working as much as I want to be, I'm not connected with community as much as I want to be. I want to just share a couple little tidbits to help you. First of all, I can honestly say in my past when it comes to depression, I've really been able to trace it back to unprocessed pain. That said, I would say our current epidemic of depression, as at least as it pertains to women, women my age, in their 30s, maybe even women younger, I feel like social media, with all its glamour, with all of its fake filters, with all of its ridiculous fantasy romance novels, romance TV shows, um, all that stuff, I feel like has fueled this hunger and this sense of unmet expectations in the heart of so many women. Women are looking for men with a six pack. Women are looking for a man that will, worship the ground they walk on. Women are looking for men with the ability to give extravagantly and make them feel like a princess. And I'll say this, look, I've been married to the same man for 15 years. He'll never have a six pack. He'll never buy me an island or take me on a private jet. But you know what? He goes to work every day in a very challenging, humbling environment that does not value him or appreciate him like they should. And he still shows up and he takes pride in being able to provide for me and our children. And to me, that's worth more than slaying dragons and taking me on this crazy vacation and dropping gifts in my lap and having a six pack. If you can find a man whose purpose and drive is to take good care of you and love your children, I feel like that's such a gift. He's got his dad bod. He's not even 5'9", y'all. But he has so many quality characteristics, and I want to plead with women right now. If I were you, I would flee. I would flee social media to a certain degree. I would stop reading those junk, garbage romance novels. I would stop watching those ridiculous soap operas where the billionaire comes in, saves the day, stays faithful to this one woman, treats her like a princess. Can you think? I mean, I don't know. I don't know if that's possible for a billionaire to stay faithful to one woman. I don't know. But you see my point. So I just want to speak into this because it's kind of a taboo thing. I feel like the older generation downplays it and is like, get thicker skin. And then Gen Z, they're actually surprisingly confident and they're actually going after their dreams. And then there's my generation, millennials, where for so long I hid behind fear and I didn't pursue my dreams because I made ridiculous excuses. They were fear-based excuses. And now here I am and I'm like, crap, I've actually got confidence now. And what happened to all those years where I was blaming people instead of taking ownership and making things happen? So I have come to a place, I guess one of the benefits of suffering is it works humility in you and it works compassion. And as I see all these Gen Zers, Gen Alphas around me, I'm able to take a little bit of time out of my life and just give them time. And that's what the younger generation needs. As I look around, they got plenty of confidence. I mean, they do struggle, no doubt about that. But they seem to have this tenacity that my generation did not have. And maybe it's misplaced a little bit. Maybe some of their confidence is misplaced. But what they need now more than ever is for older people to invest time in them. I mean, have you ever been around a person that just their very presence relaxes your nervous system? You're just like, oh, I feel relaxed just in their presence. And that's what Gen Z needs right now. But anyways, I wanted to share some scripture to give people hope, because I came across that public post today and I was like, exactly, depression, anxiety. No one in the churches are talking about it. The pulpit stays pretty ambiguous about it. It's like, can we please go into the nitty gritty of like how gossip has hurt me? How, and I'm not saying for me, but people's husbands' pornography addictions have hurt them. And get ready for this. Women's addiction to pornographic fantasy and romance novels, that is hurting your husbands. So can we talk about that from the pulpit? Can we talk about having to raise a bipolar child who is difficult and out of control? Like, there are so many things going on right now that are causing suffering. But I want to get into scripture, what scripture says. And you know what? I'm in a period of my life where I am fighting for I don't want to sound dramatic because I live in a free country with religious freedom and gender equality. So I want to be very careful when I say this, but I am fighting for my mental health on a daily basis. I am working very part-time. I've applied to so many different jobs and I've gotten several rejections despite a fantastic resume. And I put an older picture of me, a good looking picture of me on the resume. But anyways, I am fighting every day to find purpose so I don't go insane. And that's probably a broken area of me where there might be something broken about me, because I tend to get really depressed if I don't have a lot going on, if I don't have a way to utilize my gifts and my strengths in a way to like bring in money. So if there's any psychologist watching this, please let me know what my issue is. But so what I'm going to do after this video to combat the depression, because I'm trying to give a lifeline. I want to offer hope. Like, I want to acknowledge people out there. It's like, you don't have to have an incredibly traumatic story to genuinely struggle with anxiety and depression. Like, I could go into, So I lost a sibling several years ago, and I grew up in a large family, and this particular sibling and I fought a lot, and we were never able to I never really got closure. I had to like grieve all these, like, it's so weird. It's like you grieve losing someone, but then like all of a sudden all this anger comes up and you're working through so much anger. I'm saying this because I know what it's like to be so overwhelmed and not really have a word to explain it or a definition or a reason, and have people look at you like, what's your problem? I've always been one that I have to process emotions. I don't bury them. Look, I don't have any bad habits. That's probably not true. I don't have any vices or addictions because I go through that painful journey of processing emotions. I mean, am I grumpy? Am I moody? Do I veg out sometimes on like a TV show or a book to cope with some of that pain? Yes, I do. But thankfully, by the grace of God, I've never been addicted to anything. I've never had a drinking problem. I've never had a drug problem. Thank God that He's helped me where I didn't have to go into that to cope with frustration and pain. So I want to bring some scripture, because you know what? The Bible does not shy away from suffering. That's why I'm a little frustrated with churches and pastors. It's like, let's get into the nitty gritty of these issues from the pulpit. Romans 5, suffering produces character, perseverance, hope. James 1, count it all joy when you suffer various trials, for the testing of your faith produces perseverance. 2 Corinthians 4:17. Your current troubles are momentary compared to the eternal glory that's awaiting you. 2 Corinthians 12. God's strength is made perfect in our weakness. 1 Peter 5. After suffering for a little while, God himself will strengthen you. So the scripture doesn't shy away. I don't know where people get this jaded sense of Christianity that someone's like promising, like, hey, get out of jail free card and have the best life. It's like, actually, you read the scriptures and, we're going to be tested. There's people who are going to slander us. That's why Matthew 5 goes into detail about forgiving your enemies. Like, scripture is hard, but you know what? Like 1 Peter 5 says, having God strengthen us is such a gift. I'd rather have God strengthen me than like temporarily turn to alcohol or drugs or pornography. I think so many are so tired and so jaded. And I would encourage you to take some time out and go on a walk today. It's pretty sunny where I'm at right now. It's beautiful. I don't know what the weather's like where you're at, but I encourage you to detox from all the quick fixes, from all the dopamine hits, from all the social media, whatever you normally use to cope, even a lot of caffeine. I've pulled back from a lot of caffeine, and go on a walk and connect with your Creator, because you're made in the image of God. You are so profoundly special and powerful. If you only knew that. Just take some time to connect with God. Go on a walk. Don't take your cell phone with you. I'm sure the house won't burn down while you're gone for 30 minutes. Leave your cell phone at home and just go on a walk. Connect with God, connect with nature. I think those are the first helpful steps to coming out of that pit of depression and anxiety. But I don't have a lot going on today, which is why after this, I'm going to get on my boxing shoes and I'm going to go into my basement and I'm going to do a boxing workout, because physical exercise has been proven to help your body kind of just detox from stress and like stored emotions. And obviously it's really good for your organs, good for blood flow. And then later on, I'm going to take my friend's son to town. She has 5 kids, and I'm going to take him out just as a means to serve, as a means to help out. And I will say exercise and serving has been a lifeline for me as I've been in my own season of waiting and wrestling. I'll be honest, I talk a big game about appreciating my husband and supporting my husband, but there are days and times where I'm bored with life. I wonder at times if the grass is greener on the other side. I'm just being completely honest. And so I have to be the leader of my life. I have to take responsibility, and it's so freeing. It's so freeing to wake up in the morning, and despite the emotions, because sometimes I wake up and I am like bombarded with sadness, with worry, with fear, with just this yucky feeling that sometimes I can't even explain. And I heard Jim Rohn, what a treasure. I heard him say, you have autonomy. You have the choice on how your day is going to be, on what you're going to do. You're responsible for your success, and it's a source of freedom to be responsible for your life, for your day. And that did something incredible. So even though the thoughts, the feelings come at me, I can be like, you know what? Today I'm going to be happy. Today I'm going to get some stuff done. Today I'm going to do a boxing workout. Today I'm going to load my dishwasher. Today I'm going to call a friend, whatever that might be. And like I said, I do have a friend. I reached out to a friend earlier this week. She's coming over tomorrow. So I'm looking forward to that. Today I'm feeling a little bit isolated. So I'm going to go to town, take my friend's son, probably do a little squishy hunting. because that's the cool thing nowadays. And so that brings me joy. It brings me some purpose as I'm working through these mental blockages, as I'm processing. And to all you who are just slaying it out there, and you don't need to process, and you're great and everything's fantastic and the world is your oyster. Good for you. I am happy for you. I'm a little different and certain things take more time for me. But anyways, just wanted to share that, and I will